Hi there. I'm so excited today to be here. I'm Dr. Shiroko Sokic, in case you don't know me, owner of Heart to Heart Medical Center and the author of the book, Healing When It Seems Impossible, 7 Keys to Defy the Odds. And I'm so excited to have Aimee Carlson, the Toxin Terminator, here with us today. She's going to tell us a little bit about xenoestrogens. But first, I would just love if you tell us a little bit how you got to be the Toxin Terminator.
Absolutely. And it so plays into what we're talking about today because my entire adult life, I suffered from a lot of different chronic diseases. And the one specifically of what deals with what we're talking about is I had so many reproductive issues from a very early onset and really struggled my entire adult life with that. I was diagnosed in menopause at the age of 36. Had a partial hysterectomy. They did leave the left ovaries at the age of 37 because that was their answer for handling the issues that I was having. I was treated by so many different specialists, so many different things happening, and just horrible, horrible symptoms. But in the reproductive realm. And then with having the hysterectomy at the age of 36, I was already in menopause, but it threw those symptoms into overdrive. And, I really got into what I do now, finding ways to alleviate these symptoms, because what I was finding out and what I was learning is that women in other cultures don't suffer the symptoms like we do here in the US. And so I just wanted to make sure that I was learning, is there things that I'm doing in my everyday life that are affecting how I'm feeling and what symptoms I'm experiencing on a day-to-day basis? I could relate because I grew up in the automotive world. I don't know if I had that discussion with you or not, but I'm a certified mechanic. I worked on cars for 30 years.
Oh, wow. No, you didn't. No. Tell us.
I did. I own 5 different facilities. And so, first of all, I knew what toxins were or hazardous materials from the job I did. We had certain safety protocols and things that we had to do within our facilities. And because we were so highly regulated, I believed that all the other industries were as well. So when I was purchasing things off the shelf in the stores, I was under the impression it was absolutely safe for me. And as I started digging in and learning more about what I know now, I couldn't have been farther from the truth, and I quickly learned that not only the things that I was exposed to at work for all those years, but really the stuff I was using every day was having a huge impact on what was happening with my body. And that's what I really want to talk to women about today, because there's so many things that we can do that are simple, easy things to change, that are going to have a huge impact on us and our overall health.
Great.
The sun is shining right across your face.
What's that? Oh, it's all the outer traffic outside, I think. So, yeah.
Oh, well, it was just like the rays of sun were just coming right across your face. It's so pretty.
Oh, good. Oh, yay. So, tell us all a little bit about what xenoestrogens are. I did send out a little blurb to my patients about that, but I would love to share it with everybody who's watching. What are xenoestrogens and what do they do?
Absolutely. So, we've all heard of estrogen in our body, and many of us don't understand that we've got many different forms of estrogen in the body, but xenoestrogens are man-made. So xenoestrogens are estrogens that have been produced by men. They're synthetic, they're chemicals, and they're things that we don't want in the body. So when I'm the toxin terminator, I'm talking about toxins, and xenoestrogen would be one of those. And these are man-made estrogens that are mimicking our naturally made estrogen in the body. So it's going in and it's mimicking it, and it's creating kind of havoc inside of our reproductive system, inside of that whole deal that we work with. And there's xenoestrogens, but underneath the xenoestrogens, you have there's 3 or 4 different forms of even those, based upon how they're coming into the body. So if it's a metal, it's a metal estrogen. Yeah, and so there's various different forms. And I apologize, my office is packed away to have my notes on it. But for the listeners, the big thing to know is that it's a synthetic. It's man-made. It's not naturally produced by our body. And so our body doesn't recognize it as something good for the body, and it's trying to get rid of it. Anything that the body brings in that it doesn't recognize, it's foreign, the body's going to fight against that.
And so what are the symptoms of exposure to those kind of estrogens, and where would we get them?
So great questions, Dr. Sakic. The symptoms are that of being in toxin overload, right? So anything that is not good for the body is going to put us into that toxin overload. Our bodies were created to naturally get rid of toxins. They are set up. We've got this beautiful filtration, let's just call it, system in our body. But what happens is we're inundated. There have been so many advances, done in our society that in some ways are very good, but in some ways are very bad, because we've just been exposed to more and more and more types of toxins, and xenoestrogens would be one of them. You will notice things like mental fog, brain fog. You can't think clearly. You might have no control over your emotions. Think of your menopause symptoms, right? That a lot of us women will have night sweats, hot flashes. You might not be able to sleep well at night, insomnia. You can't fall asleep. You can't stay asleep. We can have changes in our body odor are happening. When we have a shift in that, we might have shifts in our skin condition, where we once had dry skin, now it's oily, or vice versa. We could have rashes develop on our skin. Psoriasis, eczema are all signs of toxin overload inside the body. And then we can start building up digestive issues. Bloating, gas, diarrhea, constipation, leaky gut, irritable bowel syndrome. These are all things that toxins have built up inside the body. Typically, by the time we get to digestive issues, we've got quite a bit built up inside of our body, right?
Right. And so also, would you say that with xenoestrogens, particularly, that you might have weight gain and inability to lose weight? Is that a part of the symptoms?
Absolutely. That hard to lose weight once we turn a certain age, it's considered like this age thing, right? There's so many things. Raise your hand, give me a comment if you blame everything on getting old. There are so many things that we're taught and we're made to believe that this is just normal. It's just part of that aging process, but it's not. It's not. It's things that are building up inside the body. That extra belly weight, for women, right? But that's where we tend to pooch it on, right? Baby weight, it's that time of life we add it on. But actually, it's the buildup of toxins, those xenoestrogens inside the body. And once we remove those, we find that this goes away.
Can you give me a specific example of where we would get xenoestrogens themselves? Like what foods or what sources of xenoestrogens there are?
Absolutely. So the biggest area for us women, the average woman uses 12 personal care products every single day. That's exposing herself to over 168 different chemicals. A lot of xenoestrogens inside of those. When we think about parabens, phthalates, sulfates, these are all items that are creating xenoestrogens inside of our body. How many people have seen, now you can literally in the stores, you can find shampoos, especially body washes, that will say paraben free, right? You know, there's a reason for that, because parabens mimic estrogen inside the body. And in fact, there have been so many science studies done that have found parabens in breast cancer tumors. You know, so this is not something that we want inside of our body. So we need to take a look at, I said 12 personal care products. Think about it. We wash our hair. Many of us are going to use conditioner. We're washing our faces. We're using deodorant. We've got body wash. We've got lotions, toothpaste, even, right? Moisturizers, and then we get to makeup and doing our hair, right? You know, so there's a whole lot of host of things that we're using on the body. That is a great resource, ewg.org. Let me give you another one. Another fantastic resource is called Think Dirty. Have you heard of that one, Dr. Sakich?
Yeah, yeah.
Think Dirty is an app that you're going to download on your phone. So it's a free app and I really like this. And let me tell you why. This is the app that I used when I first started down this toxin-free journey, because I didn't know. I didn't know what products were safe, what weren't safe. Think Dirty does many different things. So number one, the app, let me see if I can pull it up and show it to you guys, because this is, I don't know if you're going to be able. Okay, can you kind of see that? This is the app. So what you'll do is you can just type in your product, or you scan the barcode. Maybe it's something that you're looking at in your house. Maybe it's something you're at the store. So I used to use this in the store all the time. It took me forever to shop because I was constantly, you know, checking products out. It's going to give you a safety rating from 0 to 10. All right. 0 meaning nothing bad is inside that product. 10 meaning you don't want to buy this. All right. I set the parameters of 3. Anything with a safety rating of 3 or lower, I will allow inside my home. Now you get to determine what that's going to look like for you. But the reason I like this is that not only does it give you the safety rating, but it's also going to tell you, think about this. I'm going to just pull one up just so that you can see this, because this is really kind of interesting. Let's see if that'll find it. Okay, here we go. Doesn't matter. Here. Okay, here's well, that's not. Can you see that? See how there's green bars and red bars and yellow bars? Mm-hmm. All right. This is where you can start educating yourself. So it gives you the actual ingredients inside the product, and it tells you why it gets the safety rating it gets. And so you can start educating yourself. And I teach people, go to this app and start educating yourself, because literally there are 86,000 chemicals on the marketplace today. We can't learn every single one of those on a regular basis, but we can start identifying, you know, parabens, phthalates, sulfates, you know, 1,4-dioxane fragrance. These are ones that I know for sure I don't want inside my home, but I learned it because I was using this app. It's a great learning tool.
And what about, so one of the things that I learned when I first started researching xenoestrogens is cooking or having foods in plastic containers or water in plastic containers, microwaving foods in plastic containers, or microwaving foods at all. Do you want to talk about that just a little bit with the xenoestrogens as well?
Yep. Yes. So BPAs, phthalates are inside of plastics. And what happens when we store our food in plastics, most times, let's take it 2 different ways. Probably take hot food. Are we connected?
Yeah, we're connected. Yeah, we're good.
Okay. You're most likely going to take hot food and put it inside the plastic, right? Because you've just got done with dinner, so it's warm. That's pulling any out of the plastic, and now it's leached into the food. Then you pop it into the refrigerator, right? And if you know anything about food safety, you're going to leave it sitting out on the countertop, let it cool, and then put it inside. Just pop it inside there, right? Then the next step that we do with the plastic is, what do we do when we want to warm it up? We grab it out of the refrigerator inside that plastic container and we pop it inside the microwave and we heat it up. So we're leaching again into our food, and that's why we're pulling all those BPA and phthalates out of that food, and it's ingesting it through that food. Does that make sense? We do the same thing with plastic water bottles. Even if you don't store it out in your car where it's getting heated up, you don't know where that's come from in its manufacturing process, where it's been heated up, cooled down. So don't do.
Yeah. 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 Well, and so one of the other things that I wanted to mention, that it's not just early perimenopausal symptoms for women with xenoestrogens and weight gain and difficulty losing weight. It's also early puberty. There are children who are starting to have their periods at age 10 or 9 or early development, because of their exposure to these chemicals. And
Right.
so I think that's a really important thing to talk about too right now, because it's happening to so many children. So
And
you
our
want to address
children,
this a little? Yeah.
and here's the thing too, we think about personal care products, we think about the plastics, we need to think about our water. And we need to think about what we're cleaning with. Some scientists will say, and some doctors will say, your cleaning products actually have more hormone disrupting xenoestrogens in them than even your personal care products. So what are you cleaning your house with? And, that was one of the first. I changed what I did laundry with, and I changed what I cleaned my house with, were the first two things that I shifted. And let me tell you, huge impacts in how my hot flashes were, how my night sweats were, how I was sleeping. It got rid of my headaches and migraines. I suffered from headaches every single day. So I encourage you to check out your products that you're cleaning with. You can buy safer alternatives. And listen, you can even do things as simple as mixing vinegar and water and baking soda and hydrogen peroxide are all great ways of cleaning that you don't have to spend a whole lot of money with, right? Newspapers. You can use newspapers to clean your windows. There's some really easy alternatives to, buying what we've been marketed to, that we, somehow we believe we have to have in order to have a clean environment.
Yeah. And what you said about water too is so many chemicals get into our water supply. So it's good to have a good water filtration system. Do you have a good water filtration system?
I do. And here's the thing that I want to talk to people about when we think about water, because most of us are thinking about what we're drinking, right? We all know, well, let's make sure that we've got a good, like an under sink reverse osmosis. And that's what I use. And then I'll add minerals back in, because the reverse osmosis takes it all out, right? And then I have a whole house system. And I want to talk to you about that, because actually, what we bathe in and what we shower in is more toxic to us than drinking 8 to 10 ounces of dirty water. Now, I don't want you to do either, and I'm not recommending either for you. However, let's think about this when we're in the shower. We are taking a shower for, let's just say you're quick and it's 5 minutes, right? It's 5 minutes. The average product, depending upon the condition of your skin, depending on the product that you are using, it will soak into, you're absorbing it into your body. It can be detected within the organs of your body, within the bloodstream of your body, anywhere from 30 seconds to 2 minutes. All right. So everything you're putting on your body, from the products that you're using in the shower to the water, right, is being absorbed into that body, the largest organ of the body, the skin. So what you shower in is absolutely important. And in fact, I have a friend of mine, Bobby Shaban, who suffered from Meniere's disease, which is something that you can't tell spatially where you're at. It's an inner ear, type deal. And by putting it just a filter on her shower, it eliminated 80% of her symptoms. 80%. So
that's awesome. Yeah.
It's really, really important what we're showering in.
So thank you for all that. And with all of the exposure that we get, it seems almost impossible to avoid every possible toxin. So what do you recommend to people who know they're being exposed to some toxins, even if they've done their best to eliminate? Do you have some suggestions for how to deal with that? How to support?
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. You got to just do it a step at a time, because remember, it's the little things that we do every single day that are going to have the ripple effect as a whole. There are some people who are going to go through and eliminate everything in their house right off the bat, right? There's those type of people. And then there's people like me. It took me 3 years to get toxin free inside my home. And then you know what? I'm still not. I'm still finding more and more. It's a process. It's a journey. So I want to tell our listeners, don't get overwhelmed, because it can be extremely overwhelming. Start somewhere. Maybe start with your water. Maybe start with just eliminating fragrance. That might be something you do. Look at your products, and anything that has fragrance in it, get rid of it. Okay. Unscented is still not good. You don't want unscented, because that still has the fragrance, and now they put more chemicals in to mask the fragrance. So get fragrance free. Maybe that's where you start. And it all depends too on what's going on with you. I had headaches and migraines. I lost the vision on my left side with my migraines. So fragrance was really important. That's a neurotoxin to get rid of in my home. Remember, I said I got rid of what I was cleaning with and what I was doing laundry with. Two of the kind of higher fragranced products, in the home. So just start somewhere. Maybe you want to look into clean makeup, look at your deodorant. Maybe you find I'm going to buy paraben-free shampoos and body washes. Just make one change, because when we know better, we can do better, and it's just one step at a time. It doesn't have to be done all at once.
So one that I want to add to that is, because it's fairly simple, is to switch out all your plastic containers that you store food in for glass. And you can get, mason jars, or you can get leftover jars from other foods and take the label off, or you can buy Pyrex or some of those food storage containers, but store your food in glass and don't heat it in the microwave. I think those are relatively easy and will make a huge difference, especially if you're feeding kids a lot, or if you're feeding yourself a lot of leftovers. That would make such a huge difference.
Yep. And they have, if you start researching, get rid of the Ziploc baggies too. That's no good, but there's other options available to you for food storage that is much, much safer. If you have children, mason jars are fantastic, but they're stainless steel as well. You could look to get some stainless steel containers. Just don't put anything acidic inside the stainless steel, tomato, based type of products inside there. But very good options, real easy things to switch out. And when we think about plastics, when you're talking about that and you have children, I think about all of their toys that are plastic. It's like, oh my goodness.
And their teething toys that they chew on. Yeah. So.
Well, and think about if you're a mom, you're a young mom, and hormones and estrogens, this is something we need to be thinking about from the time we're born until the time we take our last breath. It is not just puberty and, childbearing ages and menopause. It's something that has to be, thought about all through that time. And think about what you're cleaning with. That those little ones they're dropping toys on the ground, and they're picking it up and they're putting it in their mouth. Every child under the age of 3, everything goes into their mouth for exploratory purposes. You think about walking through the house barefoot just as an adult. What about your pets? They're picking up through the pads of their feet whatever you're using to clean on the floor. So it's not just the shampoo you're using. It affects us all in all those different ways.
Thank you so much for today. Would you like to add any final comments or any final suggestions?
Absolutely. One of the things I like to have people do is take my free toxic risk assessment, and you can find that on my website, because sometimes we just don't even know where the exposures are. And when you go through this, I believe it's only 20 questions, and it takes less than 5 minutes to do. It's totally free. So go in and at least you'll open up your eyes to some of the areas that you have exposures, and then you can start to make those choices. I also have a free Alexa skill set. So if you have a smartphone, I know I'm the Toxin Terminator, get your EMF protection devices out, as well. I give lots of ditch and switch ideas there. And that, again, is another free resource for you. The website has many different things on it as well. So learn, be guided, by somebody. You'll have an easier learning curve when you do that. And just make one choice today. You don't have to do it all at once.
Thank you so much for being here today. It was delightful talking to you.
Absolutely. Thank you.